Macedonia in English. Just about everything you want to know.
Macedonia hit by floods. Parts of the region of Strumica, Radovish, Kočani, Štip, Sveti Nikole and Kumanovo are flooded after Macedonia was gripped by torrential rain. Bridges have collapsed and villages are cut off, whereas two dams near Provi Štip and Kočani are overflowing. Moreover, major damages have been reported on agricultural crops. To prevent the Pishica dam near Provi Štip from collapsing, two valves have been opened to release water. 1,500 sandbags have been deployed by the Protection and Rescue Directorate for intervention in critical places. The settlements of Pishica and Tripatans in the region of Provi Štip are flooded and water has entered into homes and auxiliary facilities. Flood water from Zletovo River has inundated part of the village of Ularci in the vicinity of Kočani, entering into many houses, barns and storehouses. Rock slides on the regional road leading to Delcheva and towards Vinica Berovo are being cleared up. However, travel is disrupted by frequent landslides. Torrential rain and floodwater from Radovish River have caused two bridges near the villages of Pokrajčevo and Zletovo to collapse. Nearly 1,500 inhabitants of Zleovo village are completely cut off since the collapsed bridge was their only link with Radovish and Strumica. Farmlands in the vicinity of Radovish are now underwater, causing major damages to the crop. Regalnica River is spilling over after last night's storm. 30 houses in the Štip settlement of Novo Selo are flooded. Government spokesperson on floods. Macedonian ministers are on field in order to become familiar with the situation in the flooded regions in eastern Macedonia, informed government spokesperson Alexander Georgiev. The aim of the visits is to see what's truly happening, coordinate current institutions' operations and contribute to the solution, as well as meet the needs of residents, stated Georgiev. He added that the government has already formed a coordinative body for prevention and management of the consequences from the heavy rainfall and the damage caused by floods. The government urges all local entities that own construction mechanizations to help municipalities and municipal committees in the assessment of damage made by floods and to inform the government right away. We urge the utility inspection in local self-governments to work actively, since we have information that some of the floods were caused by a human factor or illegal waste throwing in canals, Georgiev added. Floods claim first victim. Radovan Stankovski, Cvetisnica village resident, drowned on Tuesday night trying to pass the Dlabočica River. Stankovski slipped and fell into the river. His friend, who was with him, tried to help. However, he failed and Radovan's body was found on Wednesday morning 2 kilometers away from the scene. The body was pulled out with the help of MOI special units. Kumanovo Mayor Zoran Damjanovski urged the government to provide shelter for the affected families in the Christian Todorovsky Karposh barracks, saying the region was facing disaster. President Ivanov meets Austrian counterpart Fischer. Austria's President Heinz Fischer held a meeting with his Macedonian counterpart Georgi Ivanov in Vienna, in which he called on the Macedonian political leaders to find a way out of the current political situation through compromise and to focus on the set Euro agenda of Macedonia, voicing his hopes they will do so. Ivanov's cabinet said the Macedonian president comprehensively informed Fischer about the internal political situation in Macedonia as well as his engagement to overcome that situation. The meeting lasted 45 minutes, 30 more than planned. Fischer said he was satisfied with the frequent meetings with Ivanov, which show the positive trend of the friendly relations between Austria and Macedonia. Austria's president stated that his country is a traditional partner of the Western Balkans countries and primarily a strong supporter of Macedonia's Euro integrations. According to Ivanov, the frustrations in Macedonia's society resulting from the failure to give the country a date to start accession negotiations influenced to a certain extent the strained political climate in the country. VMRO-DPMNE offers new proposal for solution to political crisis. At Monday's session, the government adopted a draft law amending and supplementing the election code, according to which the deadline for submitting nominations for the local elections will be extended. VMRO-DPMNE Executive Committee member Gordana Jankulovska explained that the changes will only apply to the 2030 local elections in order to meet the demands of SDSM, as stated by the opposition party's Vice President Zoran Zaev, for extension of the deadline by 7 days. According to the draft law, the deadline for submitting lists of mayoral and councillor candidates for the local elections due on 24 March will be extended until midnight on Sunday, 3 March. We are convinced that our move is a deeply right, positive and constructive act, which is based on our sincere will to overcome the challenges and promote the civil state and national interest. An act which opens the opportunity for SDSM to enter the normal political processes in the Republic of Macedonia in a legitimate, reasonable manner and to enable the integration processes of the Republic of Macedonia into the Euro-Atlantic structures to continue, she said. SDSM rejects VMRO-DPMNE's proposal for participation in local elections. Following Zoran Stavreski's hypocritical press conference yesterday, where no proposal was announced, today VMRO-DPMNE acted even more audaciously through Gordana Jankulovska. SDSM Secretary General Andrei Petrov said on Tuesday. Petrov once again reminded VMRO-DPMNE that the Alliance for the Future will boycott the local elections because of the government's full irresponsibility and their party police putsch. He also reiterated the joint opposition's proposal for early parliamentary elections in case the joint oppositions win at least one vote more than the VMRO-DPMNE-led coalition. VMRO-DPMNE rejected this proposal precisely because it is afraid to face the will of the citizens. Today, the party police violence, which is unprecedented for parliamentary democracies and a country aspiring to join the EU and NATO, continued, Petrov added. Deadline for submitting candidate lists for local elections extended. The Parliament adopted by emergency procedure the legal regulations necessary to extend the deadline for submitting lists of mayoral and councillor candidates until 3 March. All 68 MPs who took part in the 56th session of the Parliament voted in favor of the draft law amending and supplementing the electoral code. Considering that the law requires a bad majority, the 21 MPs who do not belong to the majority community in the country also unanimously voted for the draft law. The adoption gives the SDSM-led opposition to take part in the elections on 24 March, considering that it had previously refused to submit lists within the deadline, which had expired on 17 February. VMRO-DPMNE MP Antonio Miloshovski assessed that the local elections will determine the country's future. Ninth anniversary of President Trajkovski's death marked. A government delegation led by Minister of Agriculture Ljupcho Dimovski visited Rotimlje near Mostar to mark the 9th anniversary of former President Boris Trajkovski's death. President Trajkovski was a person who demonstrated top patriotism, one of the best people a country can have, Dimovski said. The commemoration was also attended by a senior Bosnian delegation led by Minister Mirko Šarović, who underlined Trajkovski's importance for the whole region. Deputy Defense Minister Emil Dimitriev, as part of a broader Macedonian delegation, laid a wreath at the memorial in Rotimlje. The delegation in Bosnia also included Brigadier General Dimče Petrovski, the army medical team which is part of the Althea operation, a delegation of the city of Mostar, the diplomatic corps in Bosnia and the Association of Macedonian in Bosnia also laid flowers. A government delegation consisting of Vice PM Vladimir Peševski, Defense Minister Talat Jaferi and Minister of Culture Elisabeta Kančevska-Milevska, army and parliamentary delegations as well as representatives of the diplomatic corps laid wreaths of flowers at Trajkovski's grave in Skopje. Sadasama Central Board officially decides to boycott elections. Members of Sadasama Central Board have reached a consensual decision to boycott the local elections, Andrei Petrov, Sadasama Secretary General, informs. The decision was also supported by Strumitsa Mayor Zoran Zaev, who was rumored to have disagreed with this position. Moreover, the coalitional partners formed the opposition have also backed the choice to boycott the local elections. Sadasama Central Board was in session after the ruling majority in the parliament adopted amendments to the election code for extending the deadline for submitting candidate lists till 3 March.